What's up, guys? I'm going to be doing a Nekroz deck profile. As I said in the last video, I wouldn't do another Manju profile because I think I've got probably like 3 or 4. It's the majority of my videos. I don't have a whole lot of uploads, but I think I don't want to bore everyone with just Manju deck profiles. So, as I mentioned before as well, there's a YCS coming up, which is YCS Portland, Oregon. It's almost exactly a month away, and I decided that it's a month away. I'm gonna pick a deck. I'm gonna stick to it. I'm gonna play it. I figured I'm gonna play something tier 3 or higher. I personally believe this deck is tier 3 or higher. I think it's a very solid option. We got Sure back to 2, which adds a little nice boost to it. Another consistency card. We're hoping Unicorn on the next list might come to back to 2. Who knows? Otherwise, I'll try my best to explain the cards and why I play the ratios that I do. And I'll give a little in depth. I'll try to do like a quick 2 minutes on how to do the Vanity's Ruler lock, because a lot of people may not be too familiar with it. If you are, then easy enough. You can skip the last 2 minutes of the video. But I'll get into it. There's 3 cards. One I have in the mail that should be that card, so I played a different option, and then the other 2 cards I will point out that they are completely optional, personal preference. They can be swapped out for something else, but I'll give the reason as to why I played them and why I might swap them out. Otherwise, let's get into this, and I'll try and kind of go through everything, explain what they do and why I play them. So you have your 3 Brios, discard to add a Nekroz monster, or when it's rituals, once per turn you can... Is it once per turn? You can target 2 face of... anyways, it's a double compulse for extra deck monsters. It just returns them. It's really good. Round 2, game 2, I played against the new hero support, and basically he had 2 extra deck monsters. I valked the battle phase, and then bounced, and then Zaborged him. I don't play Zaborg in the main deck. I think it's better in the sideboard. It's a hard draw. The Vanity's Ruler, you have a ton of ways to get to the combo. It's just searchable. It's consistent, more consistent than Zaborg. Zaborg is still very good depending on the matchup. If you're going second and it's all extra deck oriented, then you want to play Zaborg. Heroes would be a good example. Sky Strikers, the Thunder Dragons would be another option, but I'd rather focus on just locking them out from special summoning, because chances are they're not going to be able to come back from that. As the title will explain, I got second place at Sneak Peek, and everyone struggled to... Well, nobody got over it. Basically, if I summoned it, they lost. I did, excuse me, lose in the very final round against Mermail Orchist, and that's simply because game 1, he Muniglaciated 2 cards, and then he set up 4 negate, so I had no way to out it, unfortunately. And in game 2, I opened a bunch of incantations, and unfortunately... You don't brick very often. I mean, you probably brick like 5 to 10% of the time. Not even. I mean, more like 5% of the time. And unfortunately, that was just one of the situations where it happened and I lost. But it's just it can happen occasionally. Other than that, you play the 2 Valks. It is a Battle Fader. Discard, banish a Nekroz card from your graveyard, and then discard and the battle phase. Other effect, which is really, really good if you have a way of special summoning 4 incantations. You contribute 2 for the Vanity's Ruler lock. It's one of those situations where it extends and pluses more, and so you tribute 2 for the Vanity's Ruler, and this would pop the other 2, and then you get some free pluses. Other than that, some people play 2. I think 3 is just really good, and I personally will not cut it to 2. I did try it, and I never saw it. Or, well, I'd rather open it. I wasn't seeing it as often as I would like to. The Trish is Trish. Rip 1 from hand, field, and graveyard. It does require your opponent to have 1 in each. You can't just Trish on the first turn to rip a card out of hand, unfortunately. Then it has a second effect. These are German, so, most of these. But if I'm not mistaken, you can discard when a Nekroz is targeted. It protects it. You play the 2 Colossus. First effect, discard to search a spell. That's basically all you'll usually use it for. There are some cards in the extra deck for Kaleidoscope that give you the option to summon it along with a different one, a different Nekroz. Second effect is monster specials from the extra deck. Quick effect once per turn. Target that monster, reduces attack to 0, and then its effects negated. So it's a pretty good option as well to summon. The card that we have at 1, skill drains the extra deck, and then you can discard to add a Nekroz card from the graveyard, if I'm not mistaken. That was German as well. I have the translation ones over there. As I said, I'm a little rusty with the deck, but I have basically 30 days to get everything locked down. Should be plenty of time. This is the one of the cards that is debatable. Some people play it, some people don't. The only time that I see myself needing it is if all I can do is summon a unicorn just to protect it. You could take it out for something else. I'm not really sure what you would put in its place. Like I said, as the meta shapes over the next couple of weeks, might debate if I cut it for something else. But I do play an even 40 cards. I think the deck 40 cards is enough. I see a lot of 50 card variants. And with the Vanity's Ruler lock, like I want to see it. I don't want to draw a bunch of cards that may not help me get to it. I'm 40 cards, keep it simple, get to it, lock them out, win. That's it. One Child Slime, you can play 1, 2, or 3. People play different numbers. 1 is my personal preference. That is a card. You could cut this. Play 2. It just tutors out your incantations. The 1 Ben 10 for the combo. Some people do play 2. You have a lot of ways to get to it, so don't play 2. It's just, in my opinion, just makes some hands even brickier. That's it for the rituals. For the regular monsters, we play 3 Manjus, which I personally think you should play 3. In the sideboard and extra deck, you'll see why I think 3 is ideal. There are some rank 4 options that come up that with YuGiOh, like it can help close out games. So that's why I play the 3. These do restrict, incantations restrict your extra deck, so typically if you are going to go for like the extra deck option, which I'll get to, you can just pop these off of Valk, get some draws after you searched, get some free pluses. That's really all it is. So this one will search from, when it's special, it searches from a ritual monster from the deck. This is your best one. This is the one, as long as you don't open this, you open up any other one, you can search your Ben 10 or your YuGiOh to get your combo off. You play 2 of this, which adds ritual monsters from the graveyard. This one grabs a ritual spell from the deck, and then this one grabs one from the graveyard. It doesn't really come up. It's just another option to tutor out your Talismandria, or whatever it's called. But it did come up once in the whole tournament, so, I mean, it can come up where you add a ritual spell back to the hand. The card that we got back is a 2-sure. It counts as the entire tribute for Nekroz, and then it adds a Warrior Nekroz, so it's got a lot of good utility. You definitely want to play at least 2. You can play 3 if it was to come back. I think at that point you're running into, preference. Excuse me. I think even if it came back to 3, I probably would only play 2. I might be wrong on that, but that's just my opinion. This is Vanity's Ruler. It's in the mail. This is the card that I mentioned. For the tournament, it was very situational, but I'm glad it was a Chrysia. I played against Dinos round 3, and he activated Lost World. It reduces all non-dinosaurs by 500, so if I had Vanity's Ruler, it would have been only 1800. He could have ran it over with the Giant Rex. So in this case, he could not get over this, and I Chrysia locked him both times and won because of it. Ideally, you want to summon like if you have the lock, you want to keep like a big monster. For that situation, I summoned a Trish and this. I don't remember the exact hand, but Trish was just, it's bigger than a Brio, and he couldn't run it over, just help close out the game. Got ahead of myself there. That's it for monsters, regular monsters that is. For the spells, obviously you play 3 of these. This deck had so many cards get hit to the ban list. I mean, I don't remember if it was banned, but then it was at 1, 2, and then 3. We're still waiting on a couple cards, obviously. The Shurit coming back to 3, hopefully, and Unicorn still at 1. But other than that, you don't really rely on your extra deck a whole lot. I do sideboard the Zaborg engine, and it's just in the main deck. It's just too much contradiction that I'd rather not deal with. I want to focus. I'm going to get my Vanity's Ruler lock, and that's it. And then we'll go from there, basically. I don't want to, I have this option and this. It's nice to have options, but I'd rather just turbo it out, and stun my opponent. You play 2 of these. I think that's not up for debate. You have to play 2 cycles. This one lets you summon from the graveyard and I'll explain a little bit why you need to play 2 and how this leads to the Vanity's Ruler play. This one is up for debate. You can play 1. A lot of people do play 1, and then they play one of the Incantation Ritual spells. I don't really like that card. I mean, it's got some utility to it, but this is another card you could cut down to 1 and play something else instead. You only need one of these. I think it only came up like once or twice. But yeah, that's it for that. This is basically Assure It or Assure It, basically. It's just your third Assure It until we get it back. I think you have to play it, in my opinion. And then this is the last card, the 40th card, which is the last of the 3 cards that I said you can play something else in place of it. I was playing the one Upstart, but the thing with the Upstart, like, you play 39 cards, your deck goes, you go through it a little bit faster. The reason I play this, though, is if you don't open a Brio or a way to get to Brio, but you have a way of getting the Ben 10 and the cycle, then you just foolish your Brio, and it just gets you one step closer to locking them out. I really think this is a really good option. We'll see. It worked out for me. Yeah, that could be any other card if you really wanted to. I'm just focused on getting the lock and just stopping my opponent. We'll actually go extra deck next. For the extra deck, you play your 3 of these. With the Zaborg, you send them, and then you just plus a bunch. It did come up, as I mentioned, against heroes. That's for either Kaleidoscope, or you can send with the Zaborg. This card is really good. This is for Kaleidoscoping a Trish. You can't actually summon it through Synchro, unfortunately. I thought about maybe playing like a Blow-Up Bulb, and I mean that could be an option, Glow Bulb and the Foolish. You can actually pull off both Trishes, but I think that's just, a little far-fetched. You place some high-leveled ones, and this is just for the Kaleidoscope for a combination of, like, you can do Unicorn and Valk, or you can do, like, what's that, a level 10? You do, like, a Brio and a Unicorn, or Gungnir. It's just options, really. That's it. But that's it for the Kaleidoscopes. Targets outside of the other ones, like, these are just, like, preference, like, for other options outside of staples. You play the 1. You should play 2 of these. I just don't have one yet. The deck's about 95% to where I like it to be. But, yeah. That's good at 2. We'll go this. So, you don't really have a whole lot of options for back row removal, so that is really good. I think you need to play it. You do play the 1 Phoenix, which I'll get to, but there's just another option. The 1 Dweller. It's just still too good. Why we haven't gotten an ulti after all these years in an OTS or an Astral Pack, I don't know. But if there's any card that deserves like an ulti, it's definitely this card. I mean, it's been a staple for the longest time, and I don't know what Konami's doing on that, but this is why I play 3 Manjus, and why I advocate for it. I do play the Utopia double option in the sideboard. Just a easy way to steal a game. If you're playing like a rogue deck that can only set up like 1 negate, you can easily get to this and just one-shot them. I personally, if you've watched my previous videos, I was so excited when they revealed this card. I played turbo versions. I played in any deck that I played that had level 4. So if you can play it, why not? It's just steal a game. This is optional. It did help me win the match against round 1. I played Cosmo True King, or Cosmo True Draco, sorry. And there's the one that can't be, it's like the bad masterpiece, basically. And I couldn't get over it. Nekroz can have that trouble, so I just ran it over. That would, and won. And then I play the 2 links. This could be double Phoenix, because again, back row removal. Monster removal is nice. You do have the main deck option of Trish. But they both actually came up, so I'm pretty happy with that. That's it for the extra deck. It's pretty flexible. You can, outside of the staples for this board, everything else is optional. For the side deck, the 3 Evenlies, I saw a lot of people playing that in the main deck. It's just another card where I feel like it's just too awkward, and I'd rather focus on one objective. Although it is nice to have options. If you lose a die roll, you can still Trish. You can still pump in a lot of damage. I might play the Decisive Armor for the OTK, and then I could cut like the Utopia double package. I'm not really sure. It's still in the works. Sorry, I'm coughing. I'm still from like the last video. Like I don't know what's up with me. I've been pretty sick, but the Three's a Borg. It's good as an option. I don't believe this belongs in the main deck. I think it's better as a side deck option. Strictly for like going second, and then depending on what deck you're going against. So it's just Vanity's Ruler is a general like you're not gonna play. This is more like I can resolve it, but there are decks that don't really rely on the extra deck. The three of these could be in the main deck if you could fit them in somehow. You don't want a well-timed Asher, Veiler, or Droll. Obviously, Droll will screw you over, but for hand trap deck, that's what that's for. Some more back row removal, triple Twin Twister, and then for the Utopia double package, you play this. This is really good. This basically will pitch a spell, special summon a Manju from the deck, and then go from there. And yeah. So that's it for that. Let me kind of explain the combo. So if you open up any incantation besides that, and then a Brio or a way to get to Brio, let's say you open that up. What's this one recall? Or Ritual Monster. Okay, so basically the way that this would work is special that. Like I said, you want to open up any incantation besides this guy. That guy will then grab you your Ben 10. And then you pitch your Brio to add Colossus, which you then pitch to add your Cycle. And then you cycle, tribute the Ben 10, special this from the graveyard. Since Ben 10 was tributed, you search a Light Fairy, which either the Vanity's Ruler or the Chrysia, then you just tribute your two of these, and bam, you have one. There's a 2-card combo to basically say, hey, you're not going to play Yu-Gi-Oh! And then you have options, like tons of options to be able to get to these two and the cycle. But that is basically the whole combo idea of the deck, at least the variant that I'm playing. Let me know what you guys think. Comment, if there's a card that you personally think is better. Like I said, I haven't played this or even touched the deck almost basically since it came out. It's been like 3 or 4 years, so I watched as many videos as I could to kind of catch up and see what's the best way to play it. This is what I have deemed so far, but if you guys have any feedback, like I said, just leave the comments, and I really appreciate it. Hopefully this one didn't drag on too long. Other than that, like I said, I did take this to Sneak Peek. I got second place. I lost in the very final round, but it did pretty well, and I'm pretty excited for YCS. Alright, thanks guys. Battery's running low, so I'm going to end it now.